Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be a writing tag because I just am in a tag mood and I feel like I haven't done a writing tag in a little while. Today's tag is the Small Authortuber Tag. This tag was created by Brooke Passmore, Katie Wilson, and HollyDavis. Ripley's playing with her tail in the top corner there. I'm sorry. But this tag was originally created by Brooke Passmore, AuthorHollyDavis, and Katie Wilson. I'm going to have all three of them and their original videos linked down below. We're just gonna pretend she's not there. It's fine. So without further ado, let's just get into the questions. Question number 1. Introduce yourself. What are your top 2 favorite genres to write, and what genre do you think you'll never write? So my name is Bug to Buggy, Elizabeth, whatever you want to call me. I realize I don't actually introduce myself so often, or ever. I do, in my descriptions, sign them Bug, so I guess I kind of introduced myself, but yeah, I'll answer to most variations. As far as my 2 favorite genres to write, most of the projects that I've finished have been fantasy, and fantasy is definitely by far my favorite. I have written some sci-fi, but I haven't finished a sci-fi project yet, but I guess it's the closest second I have. As far as something I would never write, I'm going to take the obvious answer here and say erotica, because I've mentioned a couple times before that I'm just uncomfortable reading sex scenes and writing sex scenes. Question number 2, how long have you been on AuthorTube? So it has been about a year and a half, just shy of a year and a half. I posted my first video in September of 2018, and it is now January 2020. I didn't start posting regularly until I think late October, but it's been almost a year and a half. Question number 3, what is your video setup? Lights, camera, microphone? As far as lights go, nothing fancy, just literally the lamp that I have and my window. I usually, when I'm doing my AuthorTube videos, when I'm here at my desk, I just have my lamp right behind the camera because this light, the angle of it is decent. But when I'm filming my booktube videos in my library, the way that the window is facing, I don't get much Hey Ripley. You don't want to feel left out today, do you? But when I'm filming my booktube videos in my library, the lighting is usually much worse because the light is, it's a dark room, but the light that does come in is very harsh. So I have the window that's, Ripley, please don't rub your face on that. So I'd like to get a better light set up someday, but not yet. As far as camera, I just use my iPad. Again, I would like to upgrade someday because it's fine for filming, but first of all, sometimes I want to be using it instead of my phone while I'm doing my videos, and its white balance is absolutely terrible, and sometimes when one of the cats jumps in, all of a sudden, especially with Spock is the black and white one, but when she comes in, it usually messes up the white balance really bad, and that's why you don't see Spock on camera as much, because usually the camera just kind of freaks out when she's on there, so I have to cut it out. So Spock does interrupt me often, you just don't see it. As far as a microphone goes, I don't have one. I definitely would like one because the microphone on my iPad isn't very good and I always have to boost the sound quite a lot when I'm editing. So that's definitely something that I would like to get, but where I think that eventually I'm going to get a new camera anyway. I don't want to invest in a new microphone until I get that new camera because the camera will depend on what microphone I might get, if that makes sense. I've actually been considering, once I reach the 2-year mark, considering getting a new camera, because I didn't want to get one before that, because what if this turns out as more of a casual hobby or something that I lose interest in? I don't want to spend the money on a nice camera that I'm not going to use as much after that. So I want to make sure that this is going to be more of a long-term thing before I invest in a camera, but long story short, I don't really have any fancy equipment. Question number 4, do you write scripts for your videos or do you wing everything as you're shooting? I definitely wing everything. I've tried writing a script before and I just don't like it. I am a rambly person anyways, which is kind of a detriment, but I don't know, it feels unnatural for me to write a script. If I'm doing a book review video, I do write the review before I film the video, and I don't necessarily use that as a script, but it's just to kind of have it down, and then if I get stuck or want to make sure I hit every point, then I just look up my review and go from there. So that's probably the closest thing I come to scripting, but most of it is just talking to myself, to the camera, and seeing what happens. Question number 5. How do you balance AuthorTube with writing? So from other people that I've seen doing this tag, I feel like I'm actually in the minority here, but AuthorTube helps me write more. Being here on AuthorTube has really just helped me be more aware of my writing, because sometimes I'll just accidentally go a week without writing because I just get busy with other things, or I just forget that I haven't gotten to it yet this week, or whatever the case may be. But being on AuthorTube, I realize when I go stretches without writing, and I find motivational because I want to talk about my writing projects, so I have to be writing. Also, obviously, the community is just super inspiring and motivational and really just makes me feel like writing. So yeah, I don't really have this problem because filming my AuthorTube videos gets me in the mood to write, and then they just kind of feed off each other, which is really awesome. Question number 6. Do you bulk film your videos or shoot one at a time? So I usually do one at a time. Sometimes I try to bulk film, but it's usually just 2 or 3. The problem with me is that I don't have large amounts of free time at a time. My full-time job has been in mandatory overtime since October, so I'm super busy with that. I also have a part-time job that I work at, just a couple shifts a week, and then I have a third, it's like a part-time job that I just do their admin work on the side for my old boss. So I don't have many chunks of free time at a time. Also, my 2 days off, one of them I always spend working at my other job, and the second one I spend with my mom, and then I do admin work. So I don't actually have any free days. I have done some bulk filming before, and I found it was super helpful. I just don't have the necessary chunks of time to do that. So it is what it is. Yes, Ripley? Thank you. I love you too. So I'm gonna say usually I film 1 at a time, sometimes 2 at a time if I'm feeling wild and adventurous. Question number 7. How much do you have to edit and delete out of your videos? Example, 5 to 10 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. It depends. It's actually gotten a lot better, but usually a 10-minute video has just shy of 15 minutes of footage. A lot of times though, if I mess up in the clip, I delete the clip then and there. So it's probably about 10 minutes, but when I'm actually editing, it's only about 5 minutes. Usually the things I cut out is when I either stutter or start coughing, because I cough a lot. When one of the cats is interrupting me too much or being too loud in the background and I have to get up and go stop them. Or specifically when I'm filming here at my desk, because this is my rabbit's bedroom. His cage is right there. And when I'm filming these videos, sometimes he just gets noisy, you know, drinking his water, playing with his little sticks and his little wooden blocks. So sometimes he gets a little too noisy and I have to pause. The thing is, I do ramble a lot, but I include a lot of my rambling. So if I was making like neater or crisper videos, I'd be cutting out more. But because I like rambling and including my rambling, I cut out less. Question number 8. Do you edit and upload videos the day they're posted or schedule them in advance? I always schedule them in advance. Sometimes if I'm running late, I have had to do it the day of. The main thing is that I caption all of my videos, and that's sometimes kind of time consuming because I'm not as used to it. And as far as editing goes, I can do a rushed editing job. I can't do a rushed captioning job, if that makes sense. So usually in advance, I try to have it done at least a day in advance, but sometimes it doesn't really work out, but most of the time in advance. Question number 9. What do you enjoy most about making AuthorTube videos, and what's the hardest part? As far as what I enjoy most, I would say the community, because honestly, this community is just so great and welcoming, and I have made so many friends. I'm a very antisocial person, so I don't always interact with the people I consider friends, but it's just such a beautiful, welcoming community, and it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. No, Ripley, it's okay. I'm social with you. Don't worry. Don't you worry. She just knocked my phone down. Aside from that, the other thing that's hardest is just the time, because like I said, I don't have a lot of free time, and when I do, they're very limited chunks of free time. What are you knocking down now? And finally, question number 10, what is your favorite video you've made? So I definitely prefer the funnier, sillier videos because I just have a lot of fun with them. I'm actually going to say the top 3 because why not? So my favorite video that I've made by far has been I'll Make a Book Out of You, my parody to Mulan's I'll Make a Man Out of You. I'll link it above and below. I'll link all three of them above and below, but I absolutely loved that video. It was so much fun to write and to film and to sing, and I absolutely loved it, and I think it turned out a lot better than I was expecting, so that's a bonus. The other one is a clickbait video that I made that's just called I'm Sorry, and I think that I put in the title that it was clickbait. I thought that was so funny, and I love the way it turned out, and my like sad music at the beginning was just excellent in my opinion. It's one that I posted on really early on, so it didn't get a lot of views because my channel was really small at the time, but it was still so much fun to make, and it was really fun. I highly recommend it. I'm not going to tell you what the video is because it's clickbait. If I tell you what the video really is, that's spoiling it, but definitely worth checking out. And the third one would be my remix that I made of just me pronouncing authors' names terribly because it was just really, it was fun to do. Like, it was really fun to like make a remix, and it was just really fun to just laugh at myself at just how terrible I am at pronouncing names. So yeah, that was really fun to do. Maybe I'll do a part 2 someday next time I butcher a bunch of names, but yeah, that was another really fun one. So I would say those are my 3 favorite videos. And those were the 10 questions. I had a lot of fun with this tag. I always really like tags like this. So if you've done this tag or if you want to do this tag, definitely let me know because I would love to check out other people's videos. I know that TB did it recently-ish, like within the last couple months. So I'll have his linked down below as well, but if anyone else has done this video or wants to do this video, let me know. As always, the original videos and all the questions are going to be down below. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button to let me know, and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!